Do you money? Do you like money? Do you invest money? Those are questions that attracted amateur traders to the internet at the height of the pandemic to change the game of traditional investment in the stock market. It's the subject of a new documentary, Diamond Hands, The Legend of Wall Street Bets. In 2020, when hedge funds were betting GameStop would go under, amateur traders joined forces and made money taking on Wall Street instead. Matt Ryan is one of those amateur traders. Here he is in Diamond Hands, airing Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern on MSNBC, explaining why he took the risk and invested in GameStop.
This is where stuff started to shift for me, right? I'm not sleeping at all. I can't focus on anything else. I'm compulsively looking at my phone. And I started buying into the whole Diamond Hands thing. I think luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? And this was an opportunity. Monday morning rolls around, and my friend Theo, he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, man, I don't think GameStop's going to do anything more. I don't think anything's going to get higher. I'm just going to sell." I was like, "Don't sell, dude. You're an idiot. Like, don't sell. What the hell's wrong with you?" And he sold. Literally 10 minutes later, it starts going.
It's getting good. Joining us now are Dre Cooper and Zach Campari, the directors of the new documentary, Diamond Hands, The Legend of Wall Street Bets. Again, excuse me, which premieres this Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern on MSNBC. Drew, what drew you to this story? Dre, sorry.
It's all good. Thank you, Jonathan. Going back to 2020, I mean, it's easy for us to forget. I think, memory is a funny thing. But if you go back to 2020 and just think about it for just a minute, global pandemic, everybody's out of work, and everybody's at home. They're getting, their stimulus checks. They're trying to collect unemployment. And at the same time, the stock market is going through the roof, record gains. And then we had an election, where a sitting president was trying to overturn the results. And then a virus surge hits. And it was just like, man, what is happening here? And then sure enough, in early January, we have an insurrection on the Capitol. And at that point, I was like, are we living in a simulation? I just couldn't, it just seemed like one thing after the next. And then 3 weeks after that, the stock market goes bananas, and the GameStop short squeeze becomes this real thing where, small-time retail investors were forcing the hand of big-time hedge funds and forcing them to lose billions. Meanwhile, a handful of retail investors were able to capitalize, and some of them made out with millions of dollars.
And so Zach, then, what does it mean to have, quote unquote, diamond hands in the world of trading? And how many people found out they didn't have the magic touch?
I think that actually more people probably would say they did have it. I think Diamond Hands is slang on the Wall Street Bets forum, the subreddit forum. They say things like diamond hands, paper hands to describe like their patience to sell or hold on to a stock, right? So Diamond Hands is holding on to a stock through thick and thin, through the tsunami. And so many people held this stock when Robinhood shut down trading. They continued to hold their stock. And as the stock started to tank, they found themselves unable to sell their stock because the stock was losing value so quickly. So Diamond Hands is this kind of like mentality about the stock market, but it's also this kind of bigger philosophy about, your approach to life at this, in our current environment. These guys there's almost a nihilism to the stock market these days, especially back in 2021 when this was going on, where people were just YOLOing their 401k and throwing everything they had into this, not just to make money, but to make a statement. So much of this was at first there was a value play, but eventually it became so much more than that.
I think we have time for this. Let's listen to another clip.
I went from working, owning a business, working 60, 70, 80 hours a week to I can't do anything. And I thought, at the time I had a little extra money in the savings account. So I thought, it's just sitting there in the savings account. Let me see what it can do on the market. Maybe if I'm smart, it'll pull a Warren Buffett move. It'll take its time, but I'll get some winners. You never know until you play the game, right?
And that was Chris Garcia. We've got about 90 seconds left. So, Dre, what do you hope people take away from the film, from Diamond Hands?
Well, look, I mean, I think this is a story, you know, a lot of people wanted to frame this story as sort of a David versus Goliath situation. And I think while that's sort of a convenient narrative, I think the reality is that, you know, young folks, millennials and Gen Z folks are they're upset. And there's this generational angst and this generational divide that's happening. And the world that, you know, their parents sort of came into is very different for them. And so opportunities are different. You know, debt's through the roof. And so, you know, folks are trying to find different ways to play this game, literally.
And Zach, 15 seconds to you. What do you hope people get from Diamond Hands?
Oh, I think that there's just something to be said about the system in general, creating an opportunity where a stock could be, you know, the federal system allows for a stock to be shorted for 140%. But then at the same time, when the retail investors seize the opportunity of creating a short squeeze with that number, it shuts the door on them at the same time. And so, you know, I think that as always, we find that the system is not built for everybody. And this was a perfect example of that.
Right. Dre Cooper, Zach Campari, thank you very much for coming to The Last Word. You can see Diamond Hands on MSNBC at 10 p.m. Eastern on Sunday.